The crowd at the Neil Blaisdell Arena in Honolulu has been treated to some kind of gymnastic exhibition. This is Pam Bilek of Team USA. She is another member of the SCATS team, the gymnastic team from Southern California. She's coming off an injury, and she'll be first up on the balance beam. And of course, when you return from an injury, those first few competitions are a little bit nervous.
And this is her first major one since the injury, and back tuck, and what a place to be on the beam. But this youngster's very talented. Two back handsprings. Straddle jump.
I sensed a little hesitation there.
Well, she was preparing herself, making sure she was under total and complete control of her body before she went up into the air. You know what's amazing about the balance beam? It's so easy, back layout, step out. You know, it's so easy to fall on the beam, but yet you saw a competition in the first few events where 1/10 of a point meant so much. Well, if you fall off the beam, 5/10 of a point deduction. And that's a very painful deduction. But so far, Pammy is doing very, very well. There's a slight wobble in the beginning of her routine, and her dismount. Double twisting back somersault. Well, Alan, just aside from the slight problem on her dismount and in the beginning of her routine, this was an excellent performance for Pammy Bilek. Here's a dismount. Round off, back handspring, double twist, 2 times around, and look for that 1 step for a 10th deduction.
Next up, Wu Jiani, trying to better Pam Bilek's 9.70.
And now, Wu Jiani.
Very nice mount.
It's a front aerial onto the beam. A little bit different, Alan, from what you normally see. I love the way the Chinese use their arms. It's almost as if they have, you know, no bones in their arms. And they're so fluid, so graceful.
And the accents go right to the fingertips.
Back handspring, back handspring. Great concentration, must flow. The flow of energy is so important. Here's a back handspring. At the end, you can see she got jammed up a little bit. I think the judges might take off a 10th or 2 for that. It was a very difficult skill. Back handspring on the side of the beam. And her dismount, double twisting back somersault, just a hop off to the side. A very pretty routine, but just a little problem on the back handspring and a slight problem on the dismount. Just a slight hop sideways. And here, back handspring, and here's a back handspring, straddle down. Oh yeah.
And for Wu Jiani of the Chinese team, judges making the final posting, and it's a 9.75. Good enough to put her in first place for now. But with something to say about that, we go to Diane Durham of the United States. McDonald's International Invitational in '83, she was the all-around champion. But she's coming off a subpar performance at the American Cup.
She had a rough time. She had a knee injury in the earlier part of the year that forced her to miss the World Championships. She wasn't able to compete at World Championships. But she's back and looking very, very aggressive. front somersault, back somersault. As you can see, she is not considered a weak acrobat or tumbler. Handstand. Split position helps her in the balance. And she'll work out of it now. Back layout. Woo! Very appreciative crowd. When you see her dismount, Alan, it is a double back somersault way, way up in the air. Back walkover, back handspring. Diane's working her way right into the very edge of the beam to get the longest run possible for her dismount. And here it is. Round off back handspring, double back somersault. Way up in the air, just one step backwards.
And if you don't think that kind of cheerleading from the crowd, that kind of support is good for a tenth or two every now and then, you're wrong.
Sure is, and I think that's going to be a big difference at Pauley Pavilion this year during the Olympic Games. Watch this dismount. Both feet hit at the same time, makes it risky. Both feet on the beam, punching down, lifting up. She's off to the side slightly, but she pulls it around. Double back somersault, just that one step backwards.
And for Diane Durham, a 9.85. She leads right now. 9.85. You know, certainly when Team USA gets to Los Angeles, they'll be in the spotlight much more than they are here in Hawaii. The world will be watching. And so much time and effort is spent on the uniforms. But then again, in order to complete the look, you can't forget about the hair. This is Julianne McNamara before, and this is Julianne McNamara during a treatment from Vidal Sassoon, more particularly Jerry Brennan. You see, Vidal Sassoon is traveling around a team of hair cutters, and they're snipping and clipping with the same perfection that these gymnasts prefer and demand in their own performances. And in the end, America is looking good. And there's Julianne McNamara after.
Pretty girl, huh?
Ma Young Hung. Not concerned about her hair right now, but she dazzled us with a perfect 10 before.
Side aerial. And you asked me once before, what are the differences between back tuck? Some of the American gymnasts and the Chinese gymnasts. Look at the grace, poise, and arm movements of the Chinese gymnasts. They are considered possibly the best in the world in the dance elements. I can't wait to see them on floor exercise. Back handspring, back handspring, back handspring. 3 in a row. Not a wobble, not a hesitation. Not a hair out of place.
Young Hung is the cleanup hitter, if you will, for the Chinese team. She is a world champion. Tremendous poise, can handle all the pressure.
That's a little deduction. She lost balance on the handstand slightly. That's the only thing I saw wrong so far. And that's a very small deduction. And here's a dismount.
Not the slightest step visible.
Well, it's going to be close to a 10. What a beautiful performance. And watch, 3 back handsprings in a row. 1, 2, and 3 with hardly any room to spare, Alan. Look at this. And grace.
And for Ma Young Hung, she's received many great scores just like this in her gymnastic career, and another victory for her. A 9.95. And the sportsmanship, the atmosphere of it continues here in Honolulu. So a check of the scoreboard as balance beam concludes here for the women at the Neil Blaisdell Arena. The Chinese have done it again. Ma Young-hong, a 9.95. Diane Durham of the United States, close, but not enough with a 9.85. Tickets for gymnastics, of course, in Los Angeles, a sellout. But if you use the right bait, you never know.